players remain, and Matt Dawson on hand with over half the chips in play right now, Roy. Is he playing the best poker of those out there?
I don't think there's too much between them. You know, the real sad story is Brian Mcfadden, who had half the chips in play and managed to well, squander them, should we say, lose them, misplace them, maybe, I don't know. Dexter Fletcher, 32% strike rate. He needs to bet more often now because obviously there's only 3 people in each pot.
The blinds wait for no man, and 5 and 10,000 now. Three-handed, of course. Button speaks first. Dawson is the chip leader, but I just wonder, Roy, if he's thinking more about getting to the heads-up stage than he is about getting the remaining chips.
Certainly would appear that way. Without doubt, the most aggressive player at the table is Brian Mcfadden right now.
And Fletcher there, he's been able to get paid on his big hands, but hasn't really gotten the bluffs through.
All these players should be raising on the button. Raise there. Okay, it was only 6-7, but Dexter Fletcher, you would have got it through. You'd have picked up 15,000 in chips.
No raise.
No raise.
And how many hands have these two played together in the blinds unraised?
Shot accent.
Oh, wow.
Check.
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 This is set up perfectly for Dawson. Mcfadden has bluffed in these spots before.
I know he's hit a part of it. He might not think he's bluffing now.
10.
Roy, this pot could get very big in a hurry.
Check.
Check.
That's the best thing about Mcfadden's hand is that he's enough to check.
Yeah, I still fancy a small bet, 10, 12, 15,000 by Matt Dawson would get paid.
30.
30,000.
Has he gotten too greedy?
Well, if Brian Mcfadden had a king, he would pay him off, but he's only got a 4.
Call.
Cool.
He's weighted it well, Roy. Dawson has weighted this perfectly. Maximum value.
Well, I don't know where he got 30,000 from, but it was dead right. Mcfadden paid him off. Matt Dawson is doing so well, making the best out of winning situations.
Yeah, Mcfadden was just going it over in his head.
We just done the last 5 minutes.
And he remembered that Dawson had tried to bluff him earlier. In fact, Mcfadden has gotten the best of Dawson all day, but he who laughs last.
Yeah, those two realms mirror themselves to a certain degree for a certain reason. These two have history.
And Mcfadden now down to just over 100,000. It's time to get on his horse, he says.
30,000 total.
How many big hands has Brian Mcfadden picked up today?
Hasn't. Dawson could be in big trouble here. I think Fletcher's playing as well.
Three-way action.
This is a big pot. 90,000 in the kitty.
Well, Brian, yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be very unlucky to be out flop, but as it is, it couldn't have come much better for him.
50.
50! 140,000 in the middle now.
Well,
Car crash time.
Mcfadden's going to get a double through here, for sure.
Plus.
It's automatic all in?
Raise all in?
It is.
Oh, cool.
Cold.
There you go, cold deck situation.
What with it? With it.
It's exactly what Mcfadden wanted to hear. What's your kicker?
Not quite as big as that one yet. Put your 30 in. What you got? Oh yeah, hang on a sec.
This is going to change the balance of power yet again, unless Matt Dawson can spike an ace.
How much is that?
Yeah, the only good news for
Do you wanna do
Dawson
it?
is,
That's all right.
of course, he covers Mcfadden
Yeah, you got your 30.
in a big way. Roy, you're looking at the pot size here, 290,000. Unless the king comes, Mcfadden going to be a strong chip leader. And was there any way
Exactly 50.
Dawson could have gotten out of that?
He called very quickly, he didn't stop to consider he was losing.
King coming down on the river, and me going. I think that's right.
That's right.
Dawson won a big pot with King Jack earlier against Norman Pace
Don't be cruel.
when he hit his second pair. Can he do it again? It's only the king, Roy, or the kicker.
Let's do the last card first. My heart's going to stop. This is a king. Get in!
Close, but no.
How did I eat out of that pile? 50 more.
This story's far
another
from
one.
over.
And a little fella.
What a roller coaster ride
not
McFadden's had,
first,
but
Well, it was hittable, wasn't it?
it must be love, says Brian McFadden. Thank God for your kicker, Matt Dawson.
Matt Dawson loses 100,000 in chips and gets a
Does
kiss.
a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
This level has been quite eventful nearing the end of it. McFadden got a whole bunch of chips, gave them away to Dawson, and the real loser has been Dexter Fletcher, who just can't get going. The blinds, that rent, has been making him pay. He can barely afford the cost of living.
Matt Dawson this time with the button does raise up, but of course he's got 2 playable
40.
cards. Dexter Fletcher must be hating life.
Jeez, right. It's
Thank you, madam.
nearly this hand or the next hand for Dexter.
Plus.
Is a raise.
And a call.
Yeah. The two big boys go at it again. There's not that much between them.
Both miss.
Edge to Dawson.
All in.
Oh!
Wow.
Dear.
Plus.
Roy, he's found his gear.
I'll tell you what, Jesse, this guy keeps his toilet rolls in the freezer, doesn't he?
He's found the gear that works. That may be the best way to beat Brian McFadden. And with that, Matt Dawson takes the lead. There's some fight in this dog.
Fearlessness.
The quality of poker, Roy, has been very high throughout this heat. I
Pass.
feel like a serious run could be made by any of the three who gets through. But Dexter Fletcher is going to need to survive to have any chance at all.
Well, he would take a call from the Queen 8.
He would, and
Suited or not suited, I'll take some of that.
you couldn't blame Dawson for calling here, neither.
I'll tell you what, if Brian McFadden was on the big blind, he'd make the call.
Dawson's held his hand up, and McFadden wants to say, I'll lend you the chips to call.
Gonna go all in a lot. Just chasing it up. As he boshed a hand all of a sudden. I need to pee as well.
Fact is, Roy, that Dawson is quite unlucky to be in a dominated spot, isn't he?
30 odd.
Yeah, I wonder if
50
he
there,
knew
plus
Fletcher had say an A6, if he would call.
30, 80. Again, I'm not quite on it. Not quite on it.
The planet?
Quite on it. It's close for me. Yeah, yeah. Not quite on it.
It was, considering what Dexter Fletcher had, the right play, but most people would say he's a little too tight there, isn't he?
Well, this is better stuff from Dexter Fletcher, you know, part Jack Cousteau, part Indiana Jones, call it what you want. He's getting his chips in now, in position, on time, on cue, and he's only going to accumulate until he gets called, and then he could accumulate a lot more.
Sure, thank you.
Roy, I do believe they've let the rabbit nibble at the edges here. Dexter Fletcher has basically doubled his stack without much threat, and he's looking much more optimistic.
Wow, a bit of confidence for you when you pick up a few pots uncontested.
Raise. Of course.
When you're looking at getting knocked out and you're still in with chips, does wonders for you.
Jeez, what a story it would be if
20,000
Fletcher
more.
comes back to win this.
35 total. That's yours.
And McFadden threw those chips in like he just didn't care. And with the 3-4,
What have they got?
I think he doesn't. This is the power of the big stack, Roy.
All in.
Call.
Call.
Wow.
Well, that is incredible. An all-in and call declared as quick as you like.
Had to do
And
it.
unless he finds an ace or a 10, Dexter